It looks like I am live. Thank you so much for joining me. It is an amazing, beautiful day. I have to say that first. And I hope that your day, night, evening, weekend, whenever you're catching this, is amazing. And when you hit the replay, leave me a comment and tell me how this lands for you. So today I want to talk a little bit about the psychic gifts. I want to share a little bit about some insight into spiritual awakening because that is where we are. And so I'll share about mine because I'm me and I don't have a problem with that. So, super grateful. I would love it if you would let me know where you're tuning in from. That is always a thing, it's always fun. So, we're going to talk a little bit about psychics. So, basically, we all have psychic gifts, we are all naturally psychic. But most of us don't know how to use it. Most of us, some of us are scared of those terms, especially if you are coming from a super religious background. Then, a lot of times psychic is a term that scares people. From the background that I came from, they would say that that was of the devil, that kind of thing. However, we all have these gifts. Many times we operate in all of them. We just don't know that that's what we're operating in. So if you're brand new and you're feeling confused or overwhelmed, then you're not alone, because what happens is when you start to experience these gifts, all kinds of things start happening, because what you're doing is you are actually seeing in other dimensions. And so as you begin to move in this space, it can be a little bit frightening. It can be a little frightening. You could just get scared, especially depending on, if you've watched movies, and, because those things sometimes they scare the mess out of you, right? So, so we're going to move on to talking about that kind of thing. So where does the information come from? So the information comes from spirit, source, universe, God, and many times it comes through you in different ways. So, one thing I have to say is that everything in the universe is made up of energy. Everything. Energy is everything. We are energy, and we can read this energy because of the information that comes and flows through us, and that's always around us. Because the thing about energy, it's fluid. Energy is like water, it's fluid. We can use our sixth sense to receive information, allowing images and impressions, feelings, all of those things to come in and allow us to operate in these gifts. So typically, as we move forward in our awakening, because what happened with me is I am hella clairaudient, and I've known this for a long time, just did not know what that was. I just knew that I heard spirit regularly since I was a child. That's always been a strong one for me. Clairsentient, I actually operate in all of the gifts, but clairsentient is another one that was strong for me because I feel shit. Um, and I'm an empath. And that is another thing all on its own. So, before we go any further, I want to just share that these is nothing to be afraid of when you begin to operate in these gifts. It's not anything to fear. It's not anything to fear. You are protected, especially if you set your intention that you are protected. And that is one of the things that I advise you to do, is to set your intention that you are protected. There are different techniques and tools that you can use in order to feel protected, because the thing is that is what we want to do. Because Neville Goddard has told us that the feeling is the secret. And so that is one of the things that we have to unlearn from typically religious programming. So we have to learn that the feeling is the secret. So when you begin to feel it, then you can manifest it. But that's another discussion. So sitting back, you can ask yourself, how in the world can you be psychic? How in the world can you be psychic? and if there's a way to tell quickly. So I'm going to list some psychic information ways, common ways that psychic information can come through. So knowing who's on the other end of when the phone rings and thinking of someone right before they ring. If you're meeting a new person for the first time but feeling a magnetic pull and having the notion you have known the person forever or met them before. Having dreams of people, places, or things that you have never seen before, but shortly after you do, and it feels like deja vu. You know information about people that you don't know or have a sense that someone is lying. Seeing something occur in the future before it happens. You feel like your mind is continuously busy or experience white noise. You feel funny or comfortable in crowded spaces. You hear your name getting called and realize no one is there. That happens to me all the time. My husband tells me to say, "Yes, Lord," and so I do. And that happens to me all the time. My grandmother's voice calls my name sometimes. Sometimes it sounds like my voice. Sometimes it sounds like other voices. And so I know that. You hear random music playing, start playing in your ears, or you can't get a song out of your head. That is me all the time. All the time. I'm always hearing music. Matter of fact, the other day I was hearing music so strong and so loud, I asked for it to turn down because it was too loud. And you know that is something that you can do as well. If you start experiencing strong things happening to you that are overpowering for you, you can ask them to turn it down. Turn it down, shut it off, any of those things. But you can ask that, and that actually does happen. You feel the physical pain or knowing when someone is not feeling well before they mention it. You get a heavy or worried feeling that something bad is about to happen before it does. Many people have those. One example that I always use is 911. There were people that got messages that, they felt sick or they weren't sick or decided to call in sick or call in well or call in well, I'm not coming. Or they got messages, they just got a feeling, I need to stay home today. You see, and that saved their life because if they had gone, they probably would have been in that explosion. So when you think about that, that makes you know that people are naturally, generally psychic. We all have psychic abilities. Should I be fearful? No. No. No, 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 no. Because fear is one of those things that we typically always have. Matter of fact, people are always fighting against fears and all that stuff. However, what we should be doing is leaning into it and asking, what is it here for? Why is it here? What is it here to show me, to tell me? Um, what is it speaking to me? For many developing psychics or those people discovering their abilities, fear could force them to stop moving forward. You do not want to have doubts or worry about your natural gifts because they are natural gifts. Some people say the word is psychic based on religious and beliefs, and that is exactly what I said earlier. Some people say that that psychic is scary because they watch movies with, all kinds of stuff. They heard in religion that, that's bad, all kinds of things. But truly, psychics are just intuitive people that have worked on their ability to increase their awareness and grow it to where they can trust it. And that is really what we want to do. And that is what the gifts do. So many times the fears are fears of being wrong because maybe, people have come to you all your life, like me. They've come to me and asked for guidance. What do I think? And I realized and recognized later that meant that they trusted, what I was going to say. So many times people can get all in their head and think that, what if I tell somebody the wrong thing? Or what if I can't hear it? Or what if I can't connect? These are all things that people fear when you are on this path and you wonder if, you're right about a certain thing. Because sometimes, you know, you're not going to get information, or sometimes it may come later, or maybe it's not for you at that time, and that is one of the things, because I've told people before, no, I haven't gotten anything about that. You know what I mean? And it's okay, because you're not going to always get everything about everyone. That's not how it works. Um, Also, people don't lean into their natural abilities. They just, I don't know, for some reason they get afraid, when they start showing up and flowing through you. And some religions hold belief that those who consult psychics are evil because they receive from a dark source. But that is not true either. Um, and that's more of something ancient. There are people that consult dark forces, but typically, no. The thing is we all know that religion was also one of those things in place to control society. Now, I'm not going to get into that here today because that's a whole ass conversation. But yeah, that was one of the things that happened. Some of the things that people fear are fear of the unknown. They're afraid of what they don't understand. They're not up on what they're not up on. you know, or they're down on what they're not up on. Not everything is going to have an explanation, and that scares people because sometimes you just don't know, and it's okay. People are afraid that, charlatans and frauds. And there are people out there that are that. However, once you trust your intuition, then you will know. Afraid of what others will think. Sometimes that is one of the fears of using your gifts, that you're afraid of what others are going to think. You're afraid of what your family is going to say. You're afraid of what your church people are going to say. You're just afraid of what anybody's going to say. Um, so you typically want to begin to embrace your natural gifts, the natural things that you know. Matter of fact, if you know that you're a person that you just know things just pop into your head and you just know, then you are claircognizant. If you're a person that you see things, you've see things in the future, you see things in the now, you can see things just appear to you, then you are more than likely clairvoyant. More than likely you're clairvoyant. And so you can also set your intentions to learn about each and every one of the gifts. You can set your intentions, and then what happens many times, and I can say this, is I'll find a book, I'll go somewhere and I'll find a book about what it is that I was looking for, or something will pop up online that will go into, some of the questions that I've had about certain things. People will show up in lives like this. If you are here and you are not subscribed, please smash that subscribe button so that you are aware when I come on with more content. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. So again, and then I have a course if you are new on your spiritual journey. It is a masterclass, a 3-day free masterclass, July 18th through the 20th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be all about chakras. I'm going to talk about these spiritual gifts, what we're talking about right now. Going to cover affirmations, DNA activation, sacred archetypes, and anything else I can pack into these 3 days that are going to help you to move forward in your life with your spiritual awakening. So if that's something that you are looking for, please join me July 18th through the 20th. And if you're on Facebook, I have a private Facebook group, Discovering You, just for that purpose. But I will drop the link in the chat for the masterclass, the sign up link. So again, thank you. So what you want to do when you begin on this journey and you start wanting to develop your psychic abilities, senses. The first step is you want to set your intention and put it out into the universe. Tell God, source, universe, that you desire to connect. And you can say it just like that. God, source, universe, mother, father, God, however you pray. I desire to connect with my abilities, with my psychic senses. I desire to connect to my clairvoyance, to my claircognizance, to my clairaudience, to my clairsentience. I desire to connect. And so once you put that out into the universe and it begins to flow out there, it will begin to happen for you in all kinds of ways. All kinds of ways. As you release your fears and your doubts that, you can't get it wrong, because that is one thing that people think, oh, I can get it wrong, or oh, I'm going against God. I know that you're protected. That is one thing. Know that you're protected and loved by the divine, God and the creator. Understand that we all have guides and angels wanting to help us move forward on our path for our highest and best. So that is one thing that you want to do. Once you begin to understand that and you begin to open yourself up to that feeling, then it's going to help you. It's going to open doors for you. So, once you place it out into the universe, your desire to learn, you may begin to start seeing classes, teachers, new friends, books, all kinds of information coming towards you. And if you do like I do, you go in the metaphysical store, you meet all kinds of people in there. It's just amazing what you can do, especially as you open up and you set your intention or you ask for your desires. That really is what setting your intention is asking for what you want. We can all share something for you to consider in your development. Things that we found helpful on our journey, which is one thing that I find helpful is taking that moment, taking that time, and just sitting quietly. Now, for some of us, that's very difficult. For me, it was. I can't even lie to you. It was very difficult to sit in silence because I love to talk. So, sitting in silence was something that I had to grow to. And that may be something that you have to grow to, because you might have to start with a minute or two, five, that kind of thing. And then get to a place where you can do this for a consistent level of time, consistently, like every day or every other day. Well, really, you want to do it every day, even if you have to do 5 minutes. All right. So, and you want to begin to get on a meditation process, really begin to connect and really begin to sit. If you can meditate actually washing dishes, you can meditate doing anything that you don't have to think about, like ironing, anything that you do um, what's that word? Roadly, where you don't have to think about it, you just know it, you just do it. It's unconscious almost. You can meditate while you're doing that. And so I just wanted to just really share that, because I know that there are people new on this journey that are trying to, move through. So I'm going to share some of the clairs, the sixth sense. So clairvoyance, and I've been talking about them all along, but I'm going to share them. Clairvoyance is clear seeing, clairaudience is clear hearing, clairsentience is clear feeling, claircognizance is clear knowing, clairaugustus is clear tasting, clairalience is clear smelling. These clairs can be present in everyone. However, from my experience, there will always be one or more of them that is stronger and will bring in more reliable information for you. So, like I said, for me, it's clairaudience because I hear all the time. I hear. And also, you may be one of these people that is able to connect and channel, which we can all channel. I got to say that. We can all channel. However, once you get to this place where you trust your connection and you trust spirit, then channeling will be something that will naturally and normally show up and come through for you. All right. So I'm going to end it there. I will come back on tomorrow and talk a little bit more about some more of the spiritual awakening journey, because I know that that's something that people need to know and want to know. However, I thank you so much for joining me today. I will drop the link for the sign up for the Discovering You Masterclass series in this in the chat. So again, thank you for joining me. It's been a blast. I have enjoyed it so much. I appreciate you. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, weekend, whenever you are catching this. Bye now.